welcome to another very interesting HackerRank challenge. Today we are going to be reversing a linked list. Let me quickly go to my whiteboard and let me show you how it plays out here. Now reversing a linked list is quite dicey because it's kind of not so intuitive. So the first thing we want to do is we need to have 3 pointers, 1 point to the previous, 1 point to the current node, and 1 point to the next node. Alright, so that's the first step. So let's initialize 3 pointers. So the first pointer, of course, this is a head. So the previous node has to be none. So let's call this prev node, and this is going to be none. And we have a current node, core node. This core node has to be the head that we are given here, and I'm going to call it the head. And then the next node, the next node has to be the head.next. So I'm going to say head.next. So these are the 3 nodes you need to initialize. So now, assuming we are here, the first one, so we have while, we need to have a while loop that checks whether we have reached the end of the list. So I'm going to use a while loop to say while, and in this case, I'm going to say, because the current node here is a head. So while the current node is not equal to none. So when the current node is not equal to none, it means that we have to move 1 step. Alright, before we move 1 step, we need to reverse the pointers, these pointers here. So what we are going to do is we are going to reverse the current node to now, instead of pointing to the next node, it's going to point to the previous node. And to do that, we are going to first say next node is equal to current node dot next. Okay, so we are grabbing this pointer here, we are grabbing this pointer and pointing it backwards. So we are taking a hold on this pointer here, this pointer you see here, and we are going to switch it backwards to point backwards. So we are going to now say current node dot next is equal to prev node. So I hope you understand what is happening. So line 1, grab the pointer. Line 2, switch is pin it backwards to point to the previous node. So in the next thing we need to do is now to advance 1 step, because in this case the current node is not known, so we're going to advance 1 step this way. So I'm going to say prev node becomes the current node, because we are moving 1 step ahead. And the current node now becomes the next node. The current node becomes the next node. So when this loop exits, it means that we are now at the end of the list. It means that at this point there is nothing in the current node. So this is where we are. We are now here, and there is nothing here. So we are going to return this one, which is actually the prev node. So we are going to now set the head. So I'm going to say head is equal to prev node and simply return it. So this is basically how to reverse a linked list. I'm going to quickly write it out in HackerRank, and you see that it actually works exactly that way. So let me quickly, I'm going to write it while I fast forward, and then we see at the end. So let's see. Alright, so this is how the code looks like. So I'm going to run it and let's see if it works. So I'm going to click on run, and it tells us we have an error. So let's see where this. Okay, so this is list.next. So that's an error. So I'm going to run again, and now you can see that it passes the 2 test cases. I'm going to go ahead to submit the code, and so you can see that it passes the 2 test cases as well. So I'm going to be stopping here. The next challenge is going to be how to print out the element of a linked list in a reverse order. So please remember to subscribe to my channel, and also leave me a comment if this has been informative for you. I remain Kindson the Tech Pro, and I'm always there for you.